I knew John Best because he played for Liverpool and I played for Everton, so we never get together, but I knew him. And when he came up to get me to come over and play over here, he's just a nice guy. Found out. I mean, if he had his red shirt on, then I would have said, "Hey, get out there, Sam." But he was a nice guy, and so he made me feel, ready to go, because that was the end of our, I was coming over there at the end of our, 9 months of playing soccer, and then straight into soccer again.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you want to take a rest.
Yeah.
But with John, it was great, and I thought, now I'm going to go out there and get going. So I enjoyed that. It was about 4 or 5 months they're going to be playing,
Okay.
and so that was all right. I felt that would be good, going over there. The standard of play that I'd been playing in, was really tough. Playing in the first division in England. You go through there and it's really tough. And I wanted to get away somewhere where I could mix up with some other players, so that was just something that I wanted to go there for. And then the other thing was, he wanted me to be the captain, and that was good too. I enjoyed that, and it was a lot of different things that I felt we should, we could put together, and something I would like. Towards the end of the first year, it was there. And I thought it was wonderful here. I still think it's wonderful being in America, and I thought it was wonderful being there at that time. And I thought, well, do I have to go back to playing in Britain? I'd been through a number of teams there, and so I thought, no, America's the one I want to go. So that gave me that feeling of going, get over there and take your family over there and see what we can do. And I knew that John Best would be the guy,
Really?
the manager, and because he was the manager the first time I was playing. He made me the captain of the team and all that sort of thing, which was great. And then I came over there, and he allowed me to do some, get the players and, talk to them and tell them some things that I know about how you play in a team and stuff like that. So it made me feel good to see the guys that were coming over to us, to see them listening to me, and because I was a captain of the team and coached them a little bit and all that sort of thing. So I felt really good about being here. I was looking at it before, as I was coming over here. I was thinking, is this going to be a team that we could play in the 4th division at home or something like that, And when I got there and trained and played with the players, I thought, well, John Best has done a great thing, because there are a lot of really good players that he brought in there, and we got to play nice football, So he had a great. He was a coach. Yeah. He knew what players were all about. He knew what picking a team is all about, and how we get the rhythm going. He would get that, and so he was very special. And I think there was players from all over the world, and I think the reason for that was the players wanted to go to America and see what America was all about. So, I know I did, and Dave did, and all that. It was a big thing to do that, and then play. And if you're a good soccer player, well, you can show people how good you are and all that sort of thing. And it was great,
Did you like to travel?
Oh, the travel was good, yeah. It's frightened if the plane fell down, but no. We were all right there.
What was the worst part of playing on some of the fields in America?
Try you get me to think back. Some of them had,
AstroTurf?
Yeah, AstroTurf. Well, had AstroTurf,
Yeah.
to be honest, to start with. And, but then again, we got the feel of playing on that AstroTurf, and we got the rhythm in there and all that sort of thing. So it didn't stop us from playing. But we went to some of the other teams where the fields were wide and tall, or they were short, and it was like, the different sort. Some that we played on had the football, and the footballs are kind of like setting, like 100 and 110 and all that sort of thing. And but over in England, the fields were bigger, wider, all that, than these things, So it was these type of teams, these type of areas, we didn't like to play in them. He was a good-looking lad, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And no.
You all were.
Eh?
You all were.
Well, but he was a guy who took charge, and he was very good with the players. Not only in teaching them the way he thought soccer should be played, but also in other ways, how you should, go about after the soccer and things you should do and all that sort of thing. He was a good man. He was a good manager, for the club. And he'd been a good player too. He'd played at Liverpool, and he'd been quite a good player there. He wasn't a superstar, but he played quite well. So it was just great to be with him. As I remember, that was it. It was great playing for him, and he handed stuff over to me to get on with the players in practices and that. And we had Dave Gillett there. He was there playing in that first year, and there were some good players, really good players, who went and played there. Oh, the fans were fantastic. Yeah. I mean, having been in England for so long, and you really had to play well before they start, shouting for you and all that sort of thing. Over here, it was like they just play for us. It was like it was coming out from the fans. Just play for us, and we just went and played, and everybody loved it. It was fantastic, So, and they were cheering all the time, and it was just tremendous, and we'd never had that. I never had that when I was playing for Scotland, or Dundee when I played for them, or Everton, or Southampton, or anything like that. You really had to play great, and then they would lift themselves up and say, "Oh, that's great." But here, when we stepped on the field, whoa! It was they were lovely, They gave us what we wanted, to be behind us, to know that here they're our fans, They could see it. They knew who you were and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, they were very nice to us, I hope we were nice to them. We did score some goals and beat some teams, but yeah, they deserved, good play and all that sort of, and the teams were good at that time. The teams that we got together played very well, I thought. Well, I think it was the way we played. We got up there, we wanted to score goals, so we played really hard going forward, and we didn't want to lose goals, so we played very hard defensively, so just as a team we were up and down and doing as much as we could, and they loved that, and they felt that, hey, this is a really good team we're coming to watch, and we were. We were a really decent team, and I thought there wasn't a game when I thought we went out there thinking, oh, we're going to get beat here, which you could do in England, like, team's so good, you know. But no, it was like we could beat any team over here. And the crowd were fantastic. I mean, that was amazing for me, you know, that having been at different clubs back in England, and what the crowds were all about, like, you know, who would wait until you're really playing well before they would give you the roar. Whereas we walked down onto the field here, you know, whoa, you know, they lifted you up and they were cheering, and it was fantastic, you know. And all the players knew about that, you know. It was great to come and play in front of these fans, you know. And that's wonderful for a player, you know. It's fantastic. I think every sport I see here, it's the same way, you know. So they were just giving us the American way at you know, being supporters, you know. And we got to know that, you know. So and I mean, in football and you name it, basketball, baseball, you know, the whole thing. The fans are there and they're rah, rah, and, you know, cheering for their team and supporting their team, and, you know, well, we didn't get that a lot in England or Scotland for that, you know, a bit, you know, you know, if you're playing very well and winning games and big time, you got the huge amount of people roaring. But if it was a time where you weren't winning the games and all that sort of thing, it was like just poof, you know. But here, they cheered us on. They kept cheering us on. We used to wave to our fans when we won games, you know, in England. You know, we used to do that, yeah, as we were going off and that, you know. And they would, if we won, not if we lost, you know, we'd crawl off. But you know, here it was just, we were just doing what we would do over in Britain. Okay. You know, all the players that were there, you know, that was it. We'd just, hey.
But you waved win or lose here, right?
Well, because the fans don't get beat. It was great. We just decided that we wanted to wave it to the crowds because we don't know the crowd. Yeah. This was our first game, you know, and we didn't know anybody, so we got up there and said, hey, hi guys, we're playing for you, you know, and girls and everybody, you know, we're playing for you. So, and that was good. So they waved back to us, you know, and then they were cheering for us for the whole of the game, which they always did, actually. And when he left, I mean, that was a shame in a way, but I took over as the coach then, you know. So, I mean, it was a good way, you know, it was good that he left for me to go and be the manager, you know, the coach. Yeah. And I felt that. But no, in some ways, I was sad, you know, that he had to go and go and play at Canada, you know. Yeah, I was on the bench there, and I put my gear on because I could still play. And then when we were down 2-0, wasn't it 2-0? And I thought, oh, I've got to get on there, try and help them. And I mean, helping them with your mouth is not as good as helping them with your feet, you know. So I went on and we just changed. I think, you know, the players had never seen that happen. The manager to come on and play with them, you know. So all of a sudden, they see it, and I think they all started to lift it and play well, you know. They picked up on it. I mean, Dave will tell you what it was.
Him. Yeah, I would like to know what it's like to play with your coach.
You know, and then we went through and we came and we won 3-2, and then after that was just special, you know. They've won that 2-0 down, come back and score 3 goals. You know, I never scored them, but I mean the team did. And yeah, and I got a bit of pain, but still, you know, when you're on the field and you know, you're trying to break down a 2-0 defeat, and you know, you want to win it. All these things, you forget about your pain. You know, you get the pain afterwards. You know, but not at that time. You've got to run hard and work hard and get there and do what you have to do. You know, so it's either that or get off the field. You know, and I'd just come on, so I didn't want to have to come off. So I just thought that, you know, you either go one or two ways. The two, you give up and say, well, 2-0. Oh well, what chance have we got? You know, seen teams doing that. And the other one is like, no, we're not going to lose this. We want to go and win this. We can do it. We can get back into it. You know, so and my teams used to have that. The players were used to John Best, you know, and now they're going to have to take what I felt we should be playing, the way I felt we should be playing, you know. So that's difficult for them. So we were getting problems from that. And halfway through the season, I sort of changed a couple of things, you know, and they played better as a team, you know, and we started to win, you know, like the team's doing it now, you know. But we started winning at that time, you know, and got to the final, and unfortunately we played the best team for a long time, you know, Cosmos.
Yeah.
Hard to beat them. But we played very well against them.
Yeah.
You know, hit the underside of the crossbar. That would have, you know, helped us, and you know, we got beat 2-1. So, but the players are very good. You know, they played well for me. You know, it's amazing.
What happens in a team like that when you go from struggling to even score a goal, let alone win, to all of a sudden now it takes on, at the end of the season, it's got a life of its own.
Yeah.
What does that feel like as a coach?
Well, what coaches are trying to do with every team that they get is to get them to play together as 11 players. You know, when they're on the field, they know what everybody's doing, defense, offense, all that sort of stuff. You know, and if it's just players who can't do that, which is what you get sometimes, you know, or they're not feeling the right sense of how they play, you know, then you've got to change it and get them playing like that. And when it starts, when you get them playing a game that starts with, so they're fitting it, passing it, moving, running, chasing, defending well, attacking well, doing all that sort of thing, all of a sudden it happens, you know, and you know, you can't get it off them. You just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going, and that's when you start winning. I thought we played really well against them. We were unfortunate. We hit the underside of the crossbar, we hit the post, you know, things like that. You think, oh man. And but I thought it was a good game for us. Yeah. You know, I didn't feel that I had to go in there and start shouting at the players for not winning that game, because they could have won that game. Yeah. You know, with a little bit of luck. And you need that little bit of luck in games like that. You know, the bounce of the ball or something like that. You need that sometimes, you know. It was kind of neat, yeah. I enjoyed it. We were just trying to see, you know, with these games, see if we were going in the right direction, you know. And when I think back on that, it's a tough, you know, it's a tough team, you know, that we're looking at. They're only young kids. They're playing away, you know, but the standard of play, you know, was not as high as I wanted it to be, you know. So I was going around moaning about stuff, you know. But you know, I wanted them to get to a higher level, you know, and at that time, with these players, they couldn't do that, you know, and I couldn't coach them into doing it, you know, so that was kind of sad in both ways, you know. You've got to have players who know what they're doing, what positions they're playing, you know. You just, as coaches, you're looking at them, you're saying, okay, you know, we've got to get you playing well. There's 11 players, you've got to be playing well as a team. They've got to be a team. Now, you know, and you've got to look at that. We couldn't get a team with them kids all over the place. Because they were, you know, they were just playing individually, you know. And hey, they were pretty good, some of them. Were pretty good, but we didn't get that whole team, and probably that's my fault. I didn't get them playing as a team. But, you know, at that time, you were talking, you know. But I just looked at it, did it for a couple of years, and I'm just looking and saying, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work, you know. I had to play basically the way John played. John wanted the team to play. I had to go out there and try to get them playing the way because that was what we had to see in them, that they could go and play in the other big team, you know, the #1 team. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of young players, young kids, really, you know, and I enjoyed it. I loved doing that with them. You know, Jimmy McAllister, he was. The first time I saw him, I thought, this is going to be a fullback for us. He's going to be a really good player, and he'll be, you know. And I thought he would get picked up by America to play for them. You know, he just had it. He was a soccer player. Yeah. You know, where other kids would come in and they were trying to show us what they could do or how they can put it together in the playing for the team. All that sort of stuff. But, you know, McAllister, no, he was there. He knew it. And he knew what he had to do. Went out there and he played very well all the time. And I put him in the first team very quickly. And all of these guys could play, you know. And the good thing about the American kids was that they went out there and they just did it. You know, and they didn't want to do something else that was a bit fancy or anything like that. No, it was there. They were out there to try and win that game, get the ball, pass it, move it around, you know, and that's what we asked from them, and that's what they did, you know. So, you know, I just thought they were good. Yeah. You know, and they did. They all went on and did more and more. Played more games and all that sort of stuff, you know. I saw an awful lot of good soccer players, not only with the boys, with the girls as well. I mean, some of the girls are fantastic soccer players, you know, and, you know, so I coached girl teams and I coached boys teams, and they were coaching me a lot, you know, because I'm going up there saying, hey, I know what I want to do, but you show me different things and I better bring that on, you know, because they were good players, yeah. You know, and that was a lot of fun. I couldn't believe there could be a girl who could play in goal that good. You know, she was strong, powerful, great savings, hit the ball as far as she wanted it to, you know. She was just tremendous, you know, and the other thing is, like, she didn't step away from the other for the other players and that, you know. She was part of them. If they were doing well, she was pushing them around or not, she was helping them, you know. It was just amazing, you know. The saves that she made as well. I mean, she could get up and get them and that, you know. She was very good, you know. I was coaching her for about 4 seasons, you know, at that time, and it was just fun to be with her, you know. It was nice to see the skills that she had. He's just a fantastic coach. You know, when he was younger, he was the same. Knew what he was doing, knew what he was talking about, and got the teams playing. Every team that I've seen him become the coach of has won things. You know, that's what he does. He gets some sort of magic onto the team, you know, by talking to them or working with them and all that sort of thing. And it's fantastic what you can see. And that's what he's doing right now. You know, he's got the team playing really well. And they're all happy and smiling, and, you know, they're not doing it because they're going, you know, it's because they're playing, they love it, and he's getting them doing that. But he had a very good brain about what he should be doing with the players. He really was, you know, and he is now. You know, that team has come from being a up and down team to just a fantastic team. So there you go, halfway through the season, and all of a sudden, boom, away they go. Can't get beat.
Yeah.
So he's a top class coach. My dad had been a professional player, and you know, he taught me how to practice with a tennis ball and knock the ball about, head it on the wall, and do all that. And he got me kicking, you know, passing, and, you know, heading and kicking, controlling it with a, you know, all that sort of thing. He kept me to do that as a kid, you know. And so when I went to school, I was, you know, quickly into the team. I was like there was some of the players I was playing against were like 3 years older than I was. You know, I was just a young lad, and they were, you know, so I got into these things, and then I got picked to play for Scotland, you know, and then the next year I played, that was under 15, and then over 15 or 15-year-old. I got 3 other, you know, Scottish, you know, we played against England twice, beat them twice, you know, once in their big Wembley.
Yeah.
We played them at Wembley. Nobody's ever beaten them at Wembley, and we beat them 2-1, and you know, we beat what was the other one? Ireland, and we beat Wales, you know. So we had a good team, young team then, you know, under 15. It was good. And but the first one was the under 14, and that was against Ireland. We beat them about 8-0 because we had a good team, you know. But they left school at 14-year-old, you know, a year earlier than we would, yeah. You know. So they never played at the U15, you know. But that was, yeah, it was great. I got that, and my father taught me a lot of things, you know, and that helped me to be a good soccer player, you know.
So he was patient with you, probably, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was good. He'd tell me when he thought I was doing the wrong thing and wasn't playing the right way. He would tell me that, you know, and I'd listen to him. You know, my dad told me how he wanted me to play, and I'd go out there and try and play it, you know. And he had been a professional player, so he's telling me the right things that I should be playing for. And so he made me go there and do it and work on it, you know. And he wasn't mean to me or anything like that. He didn't, you know, say, you've got to do this or you've got to do that. It'd be kind of like, well, you know, this and this way, things happening here, and you want to do this or that. It was great for me, you know. He just got me going and told me what it was like to be a soccer player and all that sort of stuff. And you know, he was special. you know, and you know, but I just loved the game too. That was another thing that came from him as well, and I just loved the game. No matter where I was playing, you know, home or away or wherever, I loved to play the game, you know, and it's been a wonderful thing for me.